Get ready for truth and transparency from an ocean of liberal tears. Welcome to the Blue Shark Show with your host, Mike Lang.
Wow, we thought we were going to go through a commissioner court without any hitches whatsoever. There wasn't really anything on the agenda that looked like it was going to be a big deal. But October 26, 2021, item number 5 on the agenda, discuss and take appropriate action to approve order to authorize online education for county commissioners. No brainer for most people, right? You know, take your training online. It'd be great. You're going to save the county money. You would think, why in a $2,500 budget line item for education in a single commissioner's budget, it would be such a problem? You've got 4 commissioners, so you're looking at $10,000. And the way that Commissioner Cotton puts it is, you know, hey, it's just $2,500. It's just $1,200. But hey, Commissioner Cotton, OPM, you guys up there, that's other people's money. That's not your money. That's taxpayer money. But Cotton, Judge Massengale, and Jack Wilson, you're the big OPM for the 3 sitting up there on the commissioner court. Let's kind of dig into why those 3, Cotton, Massengale, and Wilson, would vote against an optional item for commissioner's court to take their training online rather than going to, let's say, Lubbock, Corpus Christi, Galveston, someplace where they're going to have to travel, spend money. Pretty simple. You can save money. You can take it online. Now, I'd like to read the resolution to you. Whereas Texas Local Government Code 81.0025, as amended by the 87th Legislature, authorizes online instructions for the commissioners' continuing education with the approval of the Commissioner's Court, except for a county commissioner in the first 12-month period of the commissioner's first term. So that's the first paragraph. Seems pretty good. If you're there for the first 12 months, go in person, take all the classes you need, take the extra hours you need. Pretty self-explanatory. Second paragraph. Whereas the Commissioner's Court of Hood County, Texas, wishes to authorize online instruction of commissioners' continuing education as permitted by statute, it is hereby ordered that the Commissioner's Court of Hood County, Texas, approve and authorize online instructions for the continuing education of Hood County commissioners, except for a commissioner in the first 12-month period of the commissioner's first term. And it's further ordered that a copy of the order shall be submitted to the Commissioners' Education Committee of the County Judges and Commissioners Association of Texas. So basically, this gives you, per statute from the Texas Legislature, the option to take your courses online if it's not your first term and the first year of your first term. And let's dig into the first reason that it could be is they don't want Dave Eagle to pass anything, because they're upset with Dave Eagle because Dave Eagle is actually a conservative fiscal person. And he shows those 3 up on the commissioner court. So it could be kind of a tit-for-tat thing. We don't know, but it could be. So Jack steps up, asks a question about the resolution that Commissioner Eagle just read, and it was about the first paragraph and online education. And if you had to do this...
You're proposing that all courses be done online rather than actual participation?
No, sir. It says that you have this option.
And Commissioner Eagle came back and said, no. And he kind of went through the first paragraph again with Jack, and then Jack seemed to be okay with it. But later on, he voted against it. And then, of course, you had Commissioner Cotton next, and he talks about the disadvantages of online training.
Disadvantage is that difficulty staying motivated, difficulty staying in contact with your instructors, difficult interacting with your peers, which I think is really a big thing that I think helps the commissioners. And there's difficulty staying connected at all times, difficulty getting immediate feedback while you're at conference, and difficulty completing all the courses or degree. I believe you could get lax if you're sitting in front of the computer for 4 days, which is what these conferences go.
So Commissioner Cotton goes over some of the disadvantages, not getting feedback while you're on Zoom, which everybody's been doing for well over a year now, not being in person basically. And I could see that with some people that they may want to go down to Austin or Corpus or Galveston, and they may want to interact to see what's going on with some of the commissioners' court. Well, this resolution gives that person the option to do that. But it does, if you vote no, it takes the option away from online training. So you do not have to go to whatever city, Lubbock, whatever it may be. Commissioner Cotton goes on to say that you still have to pay for the course. You might save $1,200. The financial impact isn't great. Once again, OPM, other people's money, Cotton. You've got to save, whether you can save $1,200, $12,000, $120,000, you're still there to save taxpayer money and do things the best way possible. So I can see both ways. So the option to go or the option to stay home and take the course online. I think it should be available for both. But let's go back and remember, this is Texas Association of Counties that put on these schools for the commissioners and the judges, and they have all these places picked out, like I said, Corpus, Galveston, Lubbock, things like that, Austin. And you can go down to these places, and guess who else is there? The lobbyists. And if you remember, go back on YouTube and watch episode 39, and it talks about the taxpayer-funded lobbying and how Commissioner Ron Cotton put a resolution together because he got it from the Texas Association of Counties where he wanted the ability to have taxpayer-funded lobbying. But here's the catch. The 8th legislative priority of the Republican Party principles was to ban all taxpayer-funded lobbying. So in that commissioner court, they went back and forth, and Ron Cotton finally pulled his resolution after the county chair in Hood County, David Fisher, got up and spoke and said, y'all signed up as Republicans, and if you pass this, you are going against the Republican legislative priorities. So Cotton said, uh-oh, and the judge said, uh-oh, and they both caved, and they pulled this off the table. So that could be another reason. You know, when you go down there to Austin, when you go down there to Corpus Christi, Galveston, wherever it may be, those lobbyists are there. And what do you think? You've got dinners, you've got drinks, you've got all kinds of things that are going to be offered to you. So maybe that's a perk for them. Maybe they use it as a perk, but our tax dollars are being spent while they're down there for these schools. And Judge Massengale speaks up and says interaction needs to be done. And, you know, I could go for that. You know, you go down there and you can interact with people and talk about all the problems and how you're being picked on by the conservatives and whatever you need to do, that's fine. But once again, there's times where you can do it online, but give the other commissioners the option to do it online and save the taxpayers money. And we've got a surprise for you today. We're on the phone right now with Nannette Samuelson, and she's running for Hood County Commissioner, Precinct 2. And I saw some things going on Facebook, and it kind of blends into what we're talking about. And everybody kind of thought this commissioner court, the last one, was kind of going to be an easy one, no problems. And then all of a sudden we got to the agenda item number 5 about continuing education for the commissioners. And what do you think about that?
Oh, yes, I was there. And I just want to thank you for asking me to come on because I thought it would be a no-brainer. Online learning has been around for at least 10 years. And when I heard Commissioner Cotton start to speak and what he was saying, What he was actually saying was that he himself couldn't be trusted to do his required continuous education unless someone was watching him. And then the other thing he said was that we have a $2,500 travel budget. When he said that, I thought, no, that is not your money. That's the taxpayers' money. As a fiscal conservative, if I have an opportunity to save taxpayer money, I'm taking it. I don't care if it's $2,500, $10,000, or $200,000. It's taxpayer money. And it's the responsibility of the commissioners to ensure that that money is spent in the best interest of the taxpayers.
You're exactly right. And I don't know if they know what the ramifications of that vote are, and I hope they bring it back up, because in essence, what they did was they voted to not have any online training. So the judge spoke a little bit about, COVID and things like that. So now what this vote actually did was say, no, the commissioners can't do online training at all.
They're preventing all four of them from doing online learning. So instead of having the option, which that's the part that I thought was so ridiculous about the whole discussion that Commissioner Cotton was having, was that he was preventing the other commissioners from saving money. He wasn't just saying, I don't want to do online training. He was saying, I don't want any of the commissioners to have the opportunity to save the taxpayers money by doing their training in their office in Hood County. Now they all have to go off-site on taxpayer money, take the course, and then spend money at hotels and food. And that's just ridiculous. That they could have stayed in Hood County in their office and done their training like thousands of other people do for their continuing education. But he prevented all of them from saving money.
Yes, he does. And like I said, I hope they can bring that up again. I hope Commissioner Eagle brings it up, and at least one of the three that voted against it would come around and say, look, we do need to make this optional.
Right. We all thought it was a no-brainer. It wasn't a requirement. It was optional. It just made absolutely no sense.
And thank you for being on. We appreciate it. We appreciate you standing up and standing out at these commissioner courts and speaking up for the citizens and for fiscal responsibility. So keep up the good work. You're doing a great job for the citizens of Hood County.
Well, thank you, Mike, and I appreciate you having me on.
Sure. Take care. Once again, it's great to hear from Nannette Samuelson. She is a candidate running for a Precinct 2 county commissioner here in Hood County. And thank you for your input. It's good to know where your candidates stand on these issues before Election Day. There's also a program through Texas Association of Counties where each office, whether you're a constable, whether you're the county clerk, the district clerk, the commissioner, the judges, they all have something called List Serve. They can get on the computer with all the other county clerks, with all the other commissioners, and they can ask questions, they can talk about certain things, and they can have live interaction on that program. So they should always be connected with that, especially at today's day and age. We have police officers doing training online. We have colleges, you can get degrees online. We have all kinds of continuing education you do online. And after Judge Massengale is done speaking, Kevin steps up and says, look, I think we should have both. If you want to go down to wherever, Austin, wherever, you can go in person. If you want to do it online, I think you should have the option to do it. So Kevin makes the second to Dave's motion. And then we have one more person who comes up to speak from the audience, and it's Dr. Harold Granick. Now, he's listed as the Hood County Democratic Party from the 2019 on their webpage. He's a precinct chair, elected precinct chair from Precinct 8. And Dr. Granick speaks about continuing education and how it should be 50-50, maybe 50% online, 50% in person. And then Dave Eagle said, look, hey, time out. This comes from the legislature. This is something that's in statute. They can't change that. All this does basically is says you can go in person or you can do it online. And that's what they're looking at. But Dr. Granick does throw in something funny, and he says, you can certainly fall asleep during your continuing education. Well, we found out in episode 61 that as a commissioner, no matter where you're at, whether you're at the EOC Center, Jack Wilson, or you're at home, you can sleep. So Commissioner Andrews seconded Commissioner Eagle's resolution. There was a vote, and yes, it was 3-2 against the resolution. So folks, go look at the Hood County YouTube on this commissioner court. Decide for yourself. Do they want to go down there and get pampered by the lobbyist? What is it that made them vote against this simple resolution as just an option for the commissioners to take their continuing education online and save a little bit of money for the Hood County residents? Shark Show out.